I watched one video yesterday. There was a lot of there was data about how many people are leaving Toronto every hour, every day. But me, I don't know how many people are leaving Lagos.
No, you don't. No, okay, Lagos might be too hard, but then say Nigeria.
How many people are even?
Say the Nigerian immigration service, for instance, doesn't have anything about those things on their website. And when you reach out, MBS, I was working on allocation to states over the years. So a particular year, there are about 8 or 6 months they were missing. I reached out to about 3 contacts I found on their contact us page. Ghosted. I didn't get any response.
Guys, let's talk about this, right? I met a founder last month. Is it last month? No. I met a founder earlier in June 2023 that was talking about getting data to actually start their operations and know which directions they should carry their company. So there's this program we do every second Friday of the month called Pitch Friday. The early stage startup founders come to discuss their ideas and get feedback from a small community. It's no holds barred, but of course no judgment setting, where get feedback from would-be customers, would-be investors, would-be future employees or future co-founders, and all of that is happening in that small community. But yeah, there was this founder who kept getting questions about, how do you know this? How do you know your customers are in this place? How do you know that this market is this size? How do you know? So those kind of questions are questions that founders always face on a daily basis. And in our own little way, Techpoint has been trying to bridge that gap. And not just Techpoint, to be fair. There are some other media companies, some other data companies and research companies are actually trying to bridge this gap. So a few weeks ago, we launched a landmark financial services report in partnership with MoneyPoint, formerly Mapped, and we dive deep into all, like, a very, very huge part of Nigeria's financial services market, commercial banks, agency banking, and all of that. But that's really not my interest in today's show or today's podcast. I brought in Yinka Awosanya to actually look behind the scenes of how all these are possible, because why? Data is a very, very big problem. So allow me to introduce the head of, data and research lead. How do we put this thing? Yeah. So Yinka, thank you for coming to podcast today.
It's good to
so
be
you've been coming to the podcast more often.
Yes, yes, actually. It's the last couple of months have been like just popping regular guests.
Yeah,
it's just nice.
Interesting. So we've seen some interesting insights from the financial services report so far. There's one POS agent for every 80
Nigerians. One commercial bank for every 27,700.
One commercial bank is serving 27,700 people. So that is why you go to commercial banks and you're always seeing queues and everything, right? Then, yeah, there were some other insights. The top POS companies, companies with the most POS agents.
Yeah.
What are those factors that drive financial services? So there was a little bit of qualitative data on getting people's sentiments on financial services. Okay, what factors drive it? Yeah.
We interviewed over 4,006 people across the country, get their take on how they access financial services, what kind of financial services they have access to, also get details about their income range, level of education, what they do. So we're saying, yes, this set of people have this set of people. That's just something to really back up what we have.
So this is a 4,000. How many people?
4,600.
4,600 people.
Yes.
Interesting. So like all over the country.
All over the country, except one state in the north.
Just
we
one
couldn't get people.
It's a conflict state.
No, it's not a conflict state. That's surprising. It's not a conflict state, but we couldn't get people to do interview in those places.
Interesting.
Not that we couldn't get people to interview, people to do the interview, because we work with partners. People, yes, to do the interview for us.
Interesting. So we keep talking about this lack of data in Africa, which is where the focus, of course, will be in this. So founders are finding it difficult to get data, but I'm pretty sure even the researchers are finding it difficult to get data.
Yes.
So what were the challenges you faced in this give it to us. Drag anybody.
No, I'm not going to drag anybody. So yes, there's a challenge of data in Africa. So this is it. You're a journalist. This is what I was still writing. You reach out to brands that, hi, I am working on this thing. Give me, this is what I want, this is what I want, this one. Can you give it to me? And they either respond that yes, they are not going to give it to you, or just hear you. That just goes to no response or stuff like that. And then these people will come like every third market day, go on Twitter, go online and say, yes, there are no data, or that yes, journalists are not doing their job. And then you're saying yes, foreign journalists are doing better than African journalists. But then these guys reach out to you that I am doing this thing. Come, give me what you have. You don't do it. So 2019 about, I did a story. I reached out to the company concerned. Like, I'm working on this story. This is. No response. Send a reminder, no response. Send another reminder, no response. I published the story, and then the CEO now invited me over. After I published the story, now I say, yes, you're trying to set the record straight. When I initially reached out, I was heard. So stuff like this happen, even in this report that we did. Yes. So there are guys that, okay, you have commercial banks, most of which are publicly traded companies. So they have their annual reports. Once they prepare the annual reports and it's been audited and stuff like that, they release it. So we get data from those ones. So annual reports can be considered as official, and those ones that are not that are not publicly traded, that don't have their figures public. So we reach out to them. Oh, we are working on this. We are working on this report. Can you give us your data? Yes, we have people respond. Yes, I'll be happy to do it. You have guys like OP, and stuff like that. Okay, yes, they share it. And you also have others like, yes, we are sharing this report with you, but then you can't use it. Stuff like you can't make it public. And you have those that just like, they did not respond
at all.
Even follow-ups.
So
I was on a call with someone as head of communications in one of the companies, like giving details, explaining why they should give me this report. Like, the idea is we are trying to release a report that's comprehensive, that takes into account everybody in the space.
So I actually get the perspective from the journalist side of things, right? We are reporters, we are making it public. But the issue, so this is a funny thing, right? I was doing sort of user research, mini user research. I was asking people in the industries I cover what they want to read about. And one particular thing that kept coming up across all of them was data. They want data on the market. Data on the industry. And I asked one of them, okay, will you supply this data? He said, okay.
So where should I get this data?
So I don't know. So the thing is, okay, yeah, it's difficult for us right here in Africa, but I'm asking myself, how do people like GSMA, for instance, get their data? Because GSMA, for instance, why NCC publishes data on everybody that has a SIM card, even no matter how many. GSM actually looks for the unique users, meaning they are getting data from Glo or 9Mobile. The data is on MTN and Airtel's public report, but they're getting data from Glo and 9Mobile directly. And I'm asking myself, okay, how are these global data companies doing this? Is it that there's a lack of trust within our ecosystem?
Yeah, it could be
ourselves.
It could be the lack of trust, or the brand part, or stuff like that. So it could be a case of yes, Intelpoint is in a way affiliated to Techpoint Africa, and then say a brand in the past have had a little bit of wahala with Techpoint, and then you are now reaching out. Yes, even though we are not under Techpoint Africa, but reaching out, you say because of that, so you are not going to give it to that source.
So could it be that media companies should not be doing this, or should they these data and research companies, should they not be affiliated with media companies? Is that you want to enter that territory?
So I want to believe that media company might be the best positioned
to actually
really
do this. Okay.
because of the storytelling part of it. Because yes, I can give you data, but if I don't present the data in a way that it will be easier for you to see the insights and make decisions from it, then.
So I think that makes sense. So if the data is just there, it can just be blank. But what is data saying? That is where the analysis and insights now come in. Well, yeah, there's a part about gathering this data from the companies directly. But what about their regulators? So the government maintains a National Bureau of Statistics. Actually, funny enough, I met someone that was part of the people that designed the original MBS website in early 2000s or 90s, I'm not sure. But it was all about them doing a lot of sacrifices. The government did not drop a single dime at that time to do that thing, because maybe they were not saying. So they had to build it like CSR and all of that. Now, the question in my head is, if, say, these agents are not giving you their data directly, why can we get anything from regulators? Is there something they can give us to actually improve the whole data and research? Because a lot of, when you watch content creators in the US, I watched one video yesterday, there was a lot of, there was data about how many people are leaving Toronto every hour, every day. But me, I don't know how many people are leaving Lagos.
No, okay, Lagos might be too hard, but then say Nigeria.
How many people are even?
Say the Nigerian immigration service, for instance, doesn't have anything about those things on their website. And when you reach out, MBS, I was working on allocation to states over the years. So a particular year, there are about 8 or 6 months they were missing. I reached out to about 3 contacts I found on their contact us page. Ghosted. I didn't get any response. So take for instance the agency banking part. Surprisingly, Moneypoint that partnered with us on the board. So I was just talking with a contact person that we need this. Okay, yes, you can help us get in touch with SANEF. Okay. And SANEF is like the umbrella body of brands in agency banking. Mm-hmm. And then, so the 1.5 million agency bankers that we have in Nigeria that we put in the report is from SANEF. So which kind of like say, rather than rely on brands to really say, yes, give us this so that we use it to get the accumulated figures. So SANEF just like give us that's that. CBN.
I threw you under the bus on the podcast recently. I was saying you need a cage match with Emefiele.
So it's CBN. Not really. You go to CBN website and they will have a report that will be quoting another person, another brand, stuff like that.
They have a report about the financial services space,
and then the report will be quoting figures from like.
Are they not supposed to have this data then?
It's like me telling you something about the company I'm working with, and I'm quoting a foreign brand, for instance. So, okay,
so I'm actually thinking of this is the problem. Maybe this is a bigger conversation we should be having. Are there creative ways to solve this problem? And I think you've kind of found some creative ways to actually do something really substantial in the report. But yeah, I'm looking forward now to the next one.
Yeah, so a very large extent, it's just a case of going over to say, yes, if I'm reaching out to you to do this report, I am not getting it. Just say, okay, yes, one way or the other, you belong to a body or there is a regulator in charge of that space. It's just to see the possibility of getting it directly from that regulator or that body. So that way you are getting a comprehensive data. For instance, take Nigerian Pension Commission, for instance, PENCOM. So like they're one of the agencies that have like checked their website in the last 4 years and it's updated. Like they have monthly updates, quarterly updates. So if they don't have their yearly update is not out, but they have quarterly update. I can just do the quarterly and do the submission myself, get the one for the year, and that's it. So you have some regulators and agencies that are really doing that, and you have others that they are not really. Or NCC is also another one that is, even though at times the figures they give you want to question it. So
that's quite interesting. So the regulators on one side, the companies themselves on one side, maybe an umbrella body on another side. Then there's the user research part.
Yeah.
So you said you interviewed over 4,000 respondents. Now I've seen this a lot with you report people. You interview 5,000 people, interview 6,000 people, and you say 70% of Nigerians.
Yeah, that's how it works. So
that's how it works.
You can't interview all Nigerians for a particular thing. It's not like census.
I know, but seeing after doing that user research, you now say 70% of Nigerians. Let's say 70% of, instead of saying 70% of your respondents.
Okay, so the way we put it in our report is saying yes, of our respondents, we say yes, of the people we interviewed.
Okay.
People with access to financial services or sort of like, depending on the context. It's explicitly stated. The methodology has it that yes, we interviewed two people, and then the plan was to do 200 per state. But then at the end of the day, we couldn't do up to, though there are some states that has over 200 and there are some that need to be below. 200. So at the end of the day, I think we are about 60% or thereabout of the target we're supposed to meet. So yes, you can't interview everybody for that kind of reports or statistics. But then it's just a case of yes, you are doing get a sample size. Mm-hmm. So your sample size is what determines when you do projects in school, your final year projects. That's just it. You say your sample size is this, and then you use that sample size to like tell you what's happening in the entire thing.
So that sample size now, do you think it's possible to what is the term? So if you have your sample size, you are not able to extrapolate to the entire nation. Is that the case? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Why does it work? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a statistician. Why does it work that way?
I am also not. Is that?
Okay. I was asking why it works that way.
Well, most reports that I've seen and little I've read about it, so that's just because you can't interview everybody.
True.
Even if it's a case of it's a small set of people, you can't interview or say you want to do CEOs in Nigeria, you can't interview all CEOs in Nigeria.
You just have to have a sample size.
Just have to have a sample size to do it. So then the sample size now say, okay, yes, this is what we did. This is what we did. It's not like say banking, for instance, where CBN can say in 2022 mobile apps transaction is 111 trillion naira because they have it on their end. The transaction is going through their system, so they could be able to collect that.
Okay, so but this is not even just the issue of the financial services report, it's reporting in general every year. I don't know if we've addressed this before in the podcast, but every year everybody comes out with a report on startup funding.
Yeah.
This year, for instance, 2022, 5 billion, 4 billion.
There's a range. So
is there no way to actually have like a consensus between all the companies that are doing this individual? Let's agree on a standard. This is how we're reporting on data in Africa, on African startups.
Yeah. I was on a Twitter space about 2 months ago or thereabouts. with other data guys from other media companies on this particular thing. That yes, should we do this? Yeah, but I made a suggestion I should probably follow on trying to see the possibility of say we'll come together rather than just have a standard. We'll come together and just produce one single report.
Everybody. That's going to be massive.
Because if you say you create a standard, at the end of the day, you might not cover everybody. Because what I end up producing might be different from what you end up producing.
So, okay, yeah, I get it. So some startups or companies might be left out. When we start debating the definition of startups
and stuff like that.
Some will
but
say,
then when we say let's just do it one and do it together. So that's different.
So all the parameters from your individual listing comes together in one place. Okay.
Everybody does the same thing. Everybody just.
Okay, so let's come back to the financial services reports now. Why do you think? So who are the people that this report is useful for, and why should they care about it?
Okay, so surprisingly, so I was looking at the I think I shared it this morning on the type of people that downloaded it, and it's the people that we target that are actually downloading it. So you have CEOs of financial service companies, you have product managers, you have product marketers, you have people in charge of customer acquisitions and stuff like that, or expansion and stuff like that. So it's basically anybody that's mostly you're in managerial level in a financial, whether you are just entering the financial space or you have or you are trying to do a market survey or something like that. So it's just 2019 or someone that approached me on the possibility of doing a report about a market research about financial services in Nigeria. And right now, this report actually serves that person. Especially already got the report already. So market research about the Nigerian financial service space or regulators on. Okay, so
if can you give me an example scenario of a potential fintech founder? Maybe he wants to build a product. Can you give me like a sample of a particular product?
Okay, so say you want to build a savings, for instance, and you are looking at
20% interest.
I don't know about that one. So say you want to build a savings saving and investment platform, for instance. So you're looking at what age range should you target, or it's a new bank. You're looking at what set of people should you target. So say for instance in the reports we have that people between, those earning less than 35k and those earning less than 50k, there are more of them that don't have mobile money and bank accounts than those earning above. So if I'm saying I want to enter the space now, so there's a low hanging fruit of people that are already earning enough, or I could just go for people that are not earning, that are earning less than 50k, and just like, oh yes, maybe this could be my target market, and see how I can make them financially better, sort of.
Okay, so you target that kind of mass, because those people are plenty in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So you will not be targeting volume for this kind of people. So does it talk about the channels to use to reach them?
Yeah, there are stuff like about the kind of mobile devices they are using, for instance, and those are mobile devices. Yeah, okay, yes. Should I go ads for people that have smartphones, or should you just do radio and TV stuff like that for people that don't have smartphone, that just use feature phone? And then there are also cases of, say, where these people are.
Okay, their location,
the regions they are in. So you have people in this region that are doing this, people in this region that are not doing this. So stuff like that really guide you. So say I am marketing my product. Should I go to the east, or should I go to the north, or should I go to the south, or should I go to the west? So stuff like that.
Okay, so I think investors also find this interesting too.
Yes.
So because there's a point you made. I was reading the article. You talked with Bolu. Said there's a possibility that agency banking will not drive financial inclusion in Nigeria.
Will not.
Will not.
That's
That's
what I said.
okay, not you directly, but Bolu's inference from everything.
From everything is that
was like
will
it will not drive financial
Okay.
inclusion. But there's an interesting way you put the whole data, right?
Yep.
Yes, it's one for every 80 Nigerian, but the spread of these agents, I think, is the issue, right? So how does it work? And say an investor is looking at, hey, I want to invest in a startup that wants to boost financial inclusion and they want to enter agency banking. What should they be looking out for in that particular?
Okay, so say a VC that is approached by a startup that wants to build agency banking. Just goes, okay, where is the target of this agent, of this person that wants to build this thing? Okay, take for instance, Lagos had the highest number of agents.
But are they not supposed to be in rural areas?
So now that's the question. So if me as a startup founder coming to an investor, to you as an investor, say I want to be there, and I have Lagos on my list, and not states like say Niger or Kogi that have way less. There are some states that have less than 5,000 or thereabouts agents. There are even banks, they have less than 100 commercial bank branches. So those places, having those places that yes, these are the places that we want to target. So it means that yes, it's a case of yes, this startup founder has done his homework to say yes, this is what I want to do, rather than just stay in say Lagos or Abuja or any other city with large presence of commercial banks or agents already. So
okay.
it could also make investors say, okay, yes, this person knows, or even it's a case of yes, this person is going where it's not supposed to be, where it's not supposed to be going. Because based on this is where it should be going. So just because yes, Rob my son.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, this has been an interesting conversation so far, and we're hitting really, really deep pain points in this industry where we keep saying Africa has a data problem, but across the board, from the governments, the companies, everybody has issues they're facing, and yeah, it was a really, really impressive effort, and yeah, thank you for blessing us with that. If are there any other thoughts you would like to share about your experience so far before we run away?
My experience on the report,
yes,
it was working with. I think the greatest challenge will be working with our partners in doing the report. Right now, the partners I don't mean Money Point. I mean those that help us in the interview. So it was a lot of stress. You're working with people and then have a meeting and this one, and then it's a case of back and forth, and you're almost like, this is not what I asked.
But you said you understand.
Yes, you understand this thing. This is not what I asked you to. Like, you need to go back and do this. You need to go. And you have people that were on it and they just like, no, they are not doing again. It's like, okay, yes, let's get more people and stuff like that. And then you have people that are like, they encounter a challenge and they just try to solve the challenge themselves. Like, yes, you are interviewing people in places where they don't understand English, for instance, and you doing the interview, you don't understand their language. So it's just okay, yes, get someone to interpret for you, and you're asking the questions. Like that. So
there's the whole language thing too.
Yes,
the whole report.
Yes. In fact, the report itself, we have the languages that people that don't have mobile money or financial accounts, the language they speak, we also have it in the report. So that might be a case. So yes, you want to target these people, just speak their language.
Yeah.
Written
or audio? What's that preferred format?
Oh, okay. So that part
is like a radio.
No, that part is not. But then you so just guess what they speak. I think it's what they speak. Yes,
what they speak.
Yes, so you speak or you understand. You don't have to account and not yours.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. And so I guess the obvious question is, what's next for Intelpoint? What's the next thing? What's the collaboration? What's the expansion? Where are we exploding to?
Oh well, it's always on to the next one. So actually, we have about 2 or 3 reports that are currently in the pipeline at the moment. So I have one about insurance in Nigeria. We also have another one about healthcare, and there's another one about startup. So it's just a case of yes, onto the next one. We launch our website, and we're also going to be adding other features to the website, because we just launched the website just while we are launching the fintech report. Just not hosting it on the previous website, just launch with a new one. And yes, definitely we'll be expecting more of stuff like this stuff, and we're working with brands as well. So
all right. Yeah, you mentioned an insurance report.
Yes.
When is it coming out?
Okay. The first draft came in 2 days ago, and I've kind of been scared to open it. Even though I thought I worked on it. But yes, so the plan is in the next couple of months, 1 or 2 months max. So and we'll be working with brands on that as well. So, and then if you want to partner with us on it, so still our door is still open. So
all right. So thank you so much for joining us today, Yinka.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, this has been I hope you got some really, really important nuggets about the data gathering space in Nigeria and by extension Africa, and very, very, very key insights on things that can help you as a founder, as a product marketer, or even as an investor when a founder is pitching to you. Try to look at that report as a reference point to actually try and understand the market. So yeah, the methodologies and everything are broken down there, and yeah, it was a fun ride. I'm happy that I was able to play a little role in making that report a success with the interviews. So there are interviews with some key founders in the space in the report. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, audio lovers. You know where to find us. Video lovers, you also know where to find us, and see you in the next one.